With all of the self-improvement shows all over television, it is very easy for young people, especially girls, to strive for exterior perfection. And although a lot of people do not agree with plastic surgery, I personally don't see anything wrong with improving yourself, and I want to convince other people that plastic surgery really isn't that big of a deal. As a young girl growing up in Orange County, this kind of thing was all over the place. Seeing the perfect faces on shows like The Real Housewives of Orange County and The Kardashians, it makes perfect sense that young girls aren't comfortable with their appearance. Regardless of the reasoning, I feel that if someone doesn't like how they appear, they should be able to change it and not be ridiculed for it. I happen to be one of those people who was very insecure with how I looked. Growing up in a town where almost everyone was tall, skinny, blonde, and had perfect faces, I was the short, chubby, brown-haired little girl with a huge nose on my face. And like many girls, I was made fun of for being different. I knew that the hair and the weight could be changed easily, but I was extremely insecure about my nose. So when I turned 17, my mom agreed to let me get a nose job. Now, I know what you're thinking. One, why would someone allow a person of such a young age to get plastic surgery? Well, the answer to that question is that I wanted to. And to be perfectly honest, I ended up becoming clinically depressed and self-abusive because of how I looked. And secondly, I was allowed to get the surgery done because I had trouble breathing since I had broken my nose once playing softball, and it turned out that my septum was over 80% deviated, and the doctor was surprised that I was even able to breathe. I knew going in that there were a lot of things that could go wrong with surgery. I had to be put under anesthesia, in which most of you know is very dangerous if you don't have an experienced anesthesiologist. I was afraid that my post-surgery nose would be even worse than the one that I currently had. Although the surgery was painful and risky, it turned out to be one of the best things I had ever done for myself. My self-confidence was so much better, and I was back to being my dorky, fun self, and I had the confidence to do everything I ever wanted. Of course, there was a lot of backlash from it. There were a lot of parents and peers asking why I would do such a thing at such a young age and how my parents could let me go through with something like that. But I feel growing up in this time period, looks have a lot to do with things. And especially in the entertainment industry and being an actress, looks have a lot to do with the work that I have to do. Now, there are many arguments for and against plastic surgery. The main arguments against it claim that everyone should be happy with how they look and they shouldn't try to change anything. Also, there are obvious health risks with being put under anesthesia, and there's always the possibility of the surgery going wrong or the outcome not being perfect. But the other side of the argument states that it's very difficult for girls to feel secure about themselves when the same people who say that they shouldn't try to change anything are the ones putting out all the self-improvement shows. I realize that a lot of people have many different opinions about this topic, and I realize it's a very touchy subject. But I feel that every girl should be able to feel as pretty as possible and be able to do whatever they have to do to be as confident as possible. And I don't think it's fair for someone to be ridiculed because they want to change how they look. So I ask everyone to please reconsider judging people because they want to improve themselves. I mean, if you really think about it, there's no difference between someone who wants to lose weight to look better and someone who wants to get a nose job to look better. Just remember that everyone has their own insecurities, and everyone should have an equal opportunity to fix those insecurities and not be judged for it.